Greetings, everyone. I am Ramona Banks, and it is a pleasure to present to you engaging our students through storytelling, graphic novels, and quotes for the 2017 Ashford TLC. For the sake of time, I will breeze through the slides that I have to share to allow more time for me to demonstrate how I integrate storytelling, graphic novels, and quotes in my choruses. The slides will be provided as an attachment or by contacting me or Kate Johnson. Additionally, if you would like a closer look at my demo course as an observer, please email me and I will send you an Evite link. Learner-centered instructors foster a community of learners and are creative and engaging through the use of chats and videos. Learner-centered instructors create a natural learning environment. They use technology to create engaging content. They tend to be flexible with deadlines, and they understand their student population and the help that is needed. The following slide is not all-encompassing of criteria that should be integrated in the chorus room. However, it provides a good blueprint to initiate engagement within the chorus. Many of the constructs that are included in this chart are provided during chorus development. However, I believe that we as instructors can highlight or integrate them in every chorus when we have a good understanding of our students' learning styles. A learning style consists of different ways in which we process and learn new information. There are three learning styles: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. This learning style inventory can be found at the Education Planner website. There is a second learning style inventory that can be found at the Penn State website. How can it help to engage students? We can make teaching and learning a dialogue, a collective dialogue of active learning techniques that engage the student in a traditional as well as a distance learning environment. We can also respond to a more diverse body of students when we know their learning style. In the following slide is an example of a student's perspective based on an online environment with very little or no engagement. And I am attempting to actually let the video play as I continue my presentation. Let's see if it loads. Thank you so much for your patience. All right. And as I stated, for the sake of time, I'm going to breeze through. If the slide actually comes up, I will play it. This is a part of that technology type of interference you may have in your classes, of which we have to go on without it if we need to. I believe that gaining an understanding of how each of our students prefer to learn through self-knowledge by taking one of the learning style inventories can assist us in engaging them in a distance learning environment. For example, visual and auditory learners may enjoy viewing TED Talks, Khan Academy videos that we share. I'm still trying to get the video to play. That we share in regards to the weekly topics. Visual learners may also enjoy weekly discussions in the online learning environment. Auditory learners in a traditional learning environment may have an appreciation of weekly discussions, and kinesthetic or tactile learners may appreciate a weekly movie summary that relates to the weekly topic or a virtual tour of a facility that relates to their field of study. The weekly topic, When we have an understanding of our students' learning style, it may assist us in preventing an experience similar to the one in the video above. We don't want to use technology to replace the teaching and learning style. However, I believe that adding particular techniques, as I have shared previously, throughout the course experience could assist us in better engaging our students. Once again, thank you for your patience as we experienced that technology hiccup. However, I just wanted to go through briefly the online student experience, and this video really depicts best what our students may be experiencing when we don't really engage them actively throughout the course. Are we a ghost as a host, sage on the stage, guide on the side, or ace in digital space? Ghost as a host is never preferred as an instructor or facilitator. However, I believe that one particular positive side of a ghost as a host is when our students work in groups. During this time, I believe that it is best for our students to learn and apply group dynamics and brainstorming techniques. We can step in when we think it is absolutely necessary. I believe that we are all sage on the stage, given that each of us can be considered a subject matter expert in our respective fields. We can stand before our students or the keyboard and lecture or discuss any perspective of our field of expertise. I believe that being a guide on the side is most effective and engaging. We demonstrate to our students that a learning experience is based on their perspective of the topic or subject. We want them to be independent learners that think critically about the topic or subject. However, they are students because they want to evolve as a learner or gain a better understanding of the topic or subject. This is where we, as the instructor or guide on the side, come in. We provide lecture or intellectual elaboration, then a means for our students to demonstrate that they have an understanding of the information we share. For example, responding to discussions, submitting assignments, or completing a quiz. And then we clarify any misunderstandings or questions our students may have about the topic. I believe we are now turning the corner to accepting and acknowledging that technology is a tool or technique that can be fully integrate, that we can fully integrate, excuse me, or technique that can fully integrate the learning or educational experience with or without the face-to-face experience, a hybrid experience, if you will, which leads us to the ACE in digital space factor, a combination of all three factors as one. I believe that there are several methods we as online or distance education instructors can implement in our courses to ensure that our students have an engaging as well as fulfilling experience. I will share three of the methods in the following slides. Methods that I use or will start to integrate in my courses. Examples will be shown using Canvas. However, these methods can be integrated in any gateway portal, for example, Blackboard or Moodle. As a student, I believe I was not a great test taker, which probably makes me biased towards assessments to this day. I believe I wasn't a great test taker because I did not know or understand my learning style. I love projects and talking. I can talk all day long. I promise I won't during this presentation. However, discussions are how I learn best. I retain more information that way, more so than reading a textbook or writing papers. Therefore, I tend to be more sensitive to engaging our students while creating courses or making lesson plans. However, I do not go easy when it comes to thinking critically about a topic through discussion forums or assignments. The way in which I bring critical thinking to life is through unorthodox teaching. No, I do not do anything outrageous like Robin Williams from Dead Poets Society or Denzel Washington in The Great Debaters. The method is simple. I provide my students with something that is tangible, something that they can relate to, real life situations that relate to the theories that we discuss. For example, in social psychology, when we discuss prejudice, I mentioned the doll test conducted by the Clarks, or in general psychology, when we discuss intelligence in animals, I share a YouTube clip of Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Before sharing Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I would use the movie Congo as an example. Like Robin Williams from Dead Poets Society, there was meaning behind what he taught his students. Storytelling is probably a natural way in which to teach composition or poetry courses. However, the takeaway is sharing why you are passionate about a subject or topic, something we as instructors can share in our intellectual elaborations or discussion responses. Dead Poet Society, as well as the following two movies, are wonderful examples of storytelling in order to convey a theory or concept to our students. Storytelling, I believe, makes the theory or concept relatable to our students. Here we have a cover example of Good Will Hunting, and here we have a cover example of The Great Debaters. For a social psychology course regarding prejudice, discrimination, racism, the Ferguson case, the doll test originally conducted by the Clarks, or the book by Dr. Tatum titled Why Are All the Black Kids Sitting Together in the Cafeteria, are all transmedia examples that can be integrated or discussed in your course. And there is a video clip out there of the doll test experiment, that was conducted, or interviews were conducted by Anderson Cooper. Why are all the black kids sitting together in the cafeteria? There is also a YouTube clip of Dr. Tatum being interviewed about her book. As mentioned previously, for general psychology, when I discuss intelligence in animals, I share a YouTube clip of The Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Before Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I would use the movie Congo as an example. And here is a clip of Congo. You can engage your students by relating to real world discussions that are fun and relate to the weekly topic. It just takes a pinch of creativity with a little research to find the right resources to use. For example, this presentation regards engaging students. If I gave a lecture on engaging students, I may receive the attention of just a few of my audience with the lecture. However, if I include something that is of interest to the audience, the majority of the audience may be engaged and remember more of the topic. The comic strip discusses the frustration of grading assignments. Although this comic strip is funny, it depicts the emotions of many instructors as they grade papers. The rubric and assignment instructions are provided to the students. However, many times the students do not provide what the assignment requests. Many factors may be involved as to why the assignment was not completed as requested. Let's say the student did not thoroughly understand the topic enough to discuss it. I believe that two ways in which we can engage the student while helping them to apply theory is through the use of graphic novels and storytelling. A few psychology-related graphic novels are Couch Fiction, Psychiatric Tales, Depresso, and Stitches. Storytelling with transmedia is a story experience that persuades and provides a connection to the audience. It invites audience participation and collaboration. Storytelling provides order and is how we think. Some examples of storytelling with transmedia are game, web, print, comics, animation, music, film, and mobile. I believe that including a virtual trip to a lab, a hospital, or a facility that relates to the course topic, for example, in my health communications course, I included at least 3 different virtual videos to a healthcare facility. This can assist my students in fully understanding the concepts that we have discussed, such as demonstrations on how to welcome and clearly convey wellness information to our clients in the healthcare environment. I like using Second Life video clips, such as the one in the following slide, in my health communications course. And once again, we are going to attempt to deal with technology. And here I'm just going to forward through this presentation. However, when you don't have an actual facility that you could share with your students, or an experience that helps to clearly convey process, and that is, I think it's imperative in a lot of the hands-on careers such as the medical field. Second Life or any other virtual videos are wonderful ways that you can share the concepts and theories with your students. So here she's looking at patient notes, things in which she needs a process in which she needs to follow for her patient here. If you get the opportunity to watch this video clip, especially if you are in school or you have students that are potentially nurses or healthcare providers of some sort, I believe that this video would be a wonderful video to share with them. And what I find to be interesting about this video clip is the fact that she listens to each lung from her patient, and they actually show how it, or they demonstrate how it should sound in this video. So I just thought that was clever. 72-Hour Whole is a book by B.B. Moore Campbell. It is based on a true story regarding the ups and downs that a mother experienced while her teen daughter battled bipolar disorder. This media would be ideal to share in an abnormal psychology course. This media reflects a real-life situation of mental illness and how it affects the patient and their family. Psychiatric Tales is a graphic novel by Daryl Cunningham that consists of 11 graphic stories about mental illness. In general or introductory psychology, we discuss normal and abnormal behavior. This book could serve as an engaging resource for some students, given that a few of them love to read. Something that I learned from their week 1 introduction posts or learning style results. In addition, the following 2 examples are also wonderful media that you could share in your course while covering the topic of abnormal psychology. Here we have a cover shot, or a cover shot, of Chance, which is a television series. And here we have a cover shot of Split, a movie regarding a gentleman that actually has split personalities. Just to break the monotony of the study during the week, I like to email or post as an announcement a comic, movie, quote, or inspiration to my students. I feel that this may refresh or inspire my students. Such actions are unexpected and many students appreciate it. This comic details the process a student goes through to complete assignments. Their process, along with their feelings, are displayed in this comic. During the weeks where there isn't a discussion forum, an email could be submitted to each student, including a comic or inspiration that is related to the weekly topic, a non-offensive comic that is, or a movie clip that relates to the weekly topic. In order to remain consistent while grading assignments, I include a short explanation as to why my students received the grade that they did. This method keeps me focused and fair. Sometimes I will even share my own experiences when I have had a similar experience to my students, or have knowledge of someone else that has had the same experience, while providing feedback to their assignment. I may also include examples from previous students, with the previous student's permission, that have received a perfect score on their assignments. I also share track changes in my students' first 2 assignments. This provides the student with a visual of how to correct errors. In addition, I also provide advising messages during week 3 and 4. as shown in the following slide. I send at least 2 advising messages to my students during the course, more if they are in jeopardy of failing the course. I also include their current grade average in the advising messages. In addition, I provide a strategy on how we can get caught up on assignments in the second advising message. There are a few times when I will inform my students that I have graded all assignments, especially the discussion forums. I also briefly discuss what was shared during the week and may provide a little more information about the topic. Usually, this is when I will share a movie, comic, or book that relates to the weekly topic, just in case if my students are interested in extending their knowledge about the topic or is interested in seeing how the theory can be applied. However, as of late, I have shared movies during the beginning of the week. In your introductory to psychology or general psychology course, you discuss psychoanalysis and personality and perception. Spider-Man is one of my favorite comics and movie. Therefore, I like to use this method of storytelling or graphics to engage my students while applying the personality, perception, or normal versus abnormal theories. The focus is usually in regards to personality or perception. Regarding Erickson's developmental theory, students may be required to apply each stage of development. However, a few students may be unable to apply or understand each stage. Therefore, discussing a movie, a visual, auditory, tactile method of application that puts each stage into perspective may help our students to better understand how to think critically about the stages or assignment and apply the developmental theory. You may also discuss Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The movie that can be selected to discuss this concept is In Pursuit of Happiness. I like to share these methods, graphic novels and storytelling of engagement to provide an additional resource to my students that may seek other methods of application, especially when it comes to understanding theories that are introduced each week. Throughout the course, to keep the motivation going and as a means to keep in touch with my students with something other than coursework, I share quotes or inspirations. The majority of feedback regarding inspirations or quotes that I have shared are positive. Many of my students look forward to them, and some of my students inform me that it was just what they needed. These 2 quotes express my feelings of why engaging our students are so important. If my students believe that I care about them and their educational journey, then they may care enough to obligate themselves to become engaged in their distance learning experience. You can find several meaningful quotes or inspirations on the Brainy Quotes website. I have also included 2 examples of a virtual museum in the following 9 slides of suggested movies that I share throughout the course, another method of engaging my students through transmedia, excuse me. On the left wall, we have a documentary titled Escape Fire, which reflects ethical issues or informed consents in the healthcare field. The middle wall is a reverse psychology comic, and on the right wall is Inception, which reflects consciousness and dreams. On the left wall, you have Searching for Bobby Fischer, which reflects intelligence. The middle wall is a comic that I created for a personality discussion. And on the right wall is the cover to Castaway for an ego discussion. And the following slides regard psychologists, or we could call it the Psychologist Virtual Museum. This presentation can be found on my SlideShare page. I will now demonstrate how we can apply storytelling, transmedia, graphic novels, and quotes in our Canvas courses. I will demonstrate the use of transmedia and quotes within a few announcement posts and one discussion post during the first 3 weeks of the course. During as well as after the first week of the course, when I log in, I use the following process. 1, I check email. 2, I check Ask the Instructor. 3, I check for any likes or comments or questions in previously posted announcements. And 5, I check discussions. And of course, I have a cheat sheet. So with my cheat sheet, I'm going to show you in a few minutes verbiage already created for me to use in my courses, which are my announcements, my guidance posts, as well as quotes that I share. So as I stated before, whenever I go into the course, when the course first starts, I actually check any emails that I may have. And of course, because this is a demo course, I have no students in it. Therefore, I will not have any emails. And we now get those through our Outlook anyway. So next, I would go to discussions. And because this is a new course, what I actually need to do is go ahead and pin all of my discussions that I will have for the next few weeks of the course. The first that I like to put up there is Ask the Instructor. I like the setup to be like how eCollege was. Then I will pin discussion 1, and that will be it for the first week of the class. So that's really what I'm focusing on. I do check the other weeks as well to see if anyone's posted anything, just in case if I need to address it. So I'm going to go and post my announcements now. And I'm going to just demonstrate putting my instructor profile in along with an image. But for the sake of time, I'm going to grab all other announcements that are already there and put them in as HTMLs, because that will save me time. So the instructor profile will be the only one that I will go in and actually put in that one and week 2, just to save me time. So I'm including an announcement here. I'm going to say instructor profile. And I just have to disclose that, of course, all of those announcements will not be there in your new classes. But if you wanted to go and grab them from a previous course, if you're teaching the same course, you could do that. So my instructor profile is what I'm going to put down. I'll copy and paste for right now. And where I'm copying and pasting this from is a Word doc. When Nate created the presentation earlier about how we could save all of our information from eCollege, this document here, this Word doc, just a simple Word doc, was where you could copy and paste all of your information. It's a lifesaver. It saves a lot of time. So I did see somewhere in a recent presentation, I believe we have until September 15th to actually go and grab all of our information that is in eCollege, like our announcements, our guidance or anything like that, if we were required to do guidance from eCollege. So if you could take the time to actually do that, that would be wonderful, and it will save you time. But here, in all of my announcements, I like to allow my students to like any of the announcement posts that I have. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And because I did not include any images or transmedia in that instructor profile, I'm going to go ahead and do the welcome from scratch as well. However, I'm just going to grab HTML from the rest of these. So I like for all of my announcements to go in order. So when I first come into the class, the chorus for the first week, and I start posting announcements, my first announcement is usually my instructor profile. And then the next announcement will be um, the welcome message to my students. So I'm going to say greetings and welcome to social psychology. And how I like to do it, if I'm posting an announcement for the first time, I usually just like to put all of my verbiage in first, and then I go back and I put in the transmedia. It just makes it easier for me. And sometimes when I put the transmedia in, I actually have to deal with spacing, sometimes with or without the transmedia. It's just my A-type personality that I have to have everything just perfect. So I want I'm going to go to the HTML, and I already have the code for it. This is the welcome message this is the welcome image that I want to be included in my chorus. Therefore, I'm going to put it right there. And what I just did when I was in Rich Content Editor, I just clicked on Rich Content, HTML Editor to get to where I am now. And to see my image, I'm going to click on Rich Content Editor to get back over. And there is my image. And I want my image to be center. So I'm going to put it in the center. And there we go. That is my welcome message. All of the information to my students. And some time ago, they actually provided a welcome message that we could provide to our students during the first week, given that we were in a new course environment, a new online environment, which is Canvas. And I really liked the message that they provided. Therefore, I included it at the beginning of my traditional message that I share with my students. And once again, I want to allow them to like this message, and I save it. And so that you can see a demonstration of how I include clips, video clips, I'm going to put one more. Let's do an easy one for the sake of time. I'm going to use the BibMe APA video. BibMe and APA video announcement. So here I'm going to include a video clip of how my students can briefly see how they cite and list references. So let's go straight to that. And what I will do is I will also include it again as a discussion for week 2 discussion. As you can see there, I have writing resources, BibMe. And actually, sometimes I like to include videos or images before the literature. However, this one is not that way. And as I stated before, I just like to include all of my verbiage before I put the videos in, because it messes with the spacing sometimes. Remember, A-type personality. I just like for everything just to be in order and be a certain way. So right here, I'm in the rich text. I'm in the rich text content. And I want to put my videos in at this point. So now what I'm going to do is click on HTML editor, because I actually have those HTML links. And what I usually do is go back and I just check to be sure that the video comes up, because sometimes they are not in the same location, or for whatever reason there's a hiccup with the link. So I usually even get to see my links, or the actual videos, excuse me. And how I know where to post this HTML link is I look for references. And I know it goes right before references. Both of the videos do. I click back on Rich Content Editor. And there's my second video. And once again, I am going to get this spacing correct. And there it is. That's the announcement that my students will view. And once again, I will have them or give them the ability to like that video. And because I have included transmedia in this example, now what we're going to do is we're going to actually go back and grab actual HTML video. So here we have the instructor profile. We have the welcome message, which serves as my announcement for week 1, because I include what the assignments, or what I expect of my students for each assignment. Then I include a resource in there, but usually this would not be included in there, because the first 3 announcements that I would like for my students to see are actually my instructor profile, the welcome message, and then the guidance or the intellectual elaboration for the first week. So in essence, it would actually look like this. This is what they would see. The instructor profile, the welcome to social psychology message, and then the week 1 guidance post. And then later in the week, I would then post the week 1 movies of the week. And then later, as the emails come in or the weeks progress, I would put in the writing resources email that we received from the Writing Center, or from Ashford Library, or the Champs email that we receive. And then I would go on with week 2, excuse me, a week 1 and 2 summary. So I just want to show you an example of the Bid Me video, but also want you to see how my announcements will look if I post them as I should the first week. Okay, so let's see here. Our next one will be the week 1 guidance. So here we are right here. And what I'm going to do to save me some time, once I have all of my messages posted in a chorus, and I'm teaching the chorus again, what I can do is I can go back and I can just grab the HTML from that previous chorus. So I go back in, I click on edit, I click on the HTML editor, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste all of this. And go back to rich text. And then what I'm going to do at the very bottom of the page, you're not able to view it, but I have a cancel and save button. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click cancel because I don't want to do anything with that message. The purpose in me accessing it was just to get the HTML, excuse me, so that I could post the week 1 guidance. And I have to post it as an HTML because that's how I grabbed it, or I copied it, excuse me. So once I paste in the HTML that I received from my other message, once I post it as an HTML, or post it in HTML editor, excuse me, I can then click on the rich content, and here it will show me my message. And I'd like to do cleanup when I have to, but there is no cleanup in here. There is one of my videos that I've included in transmedia that I've included in there. And I include transmedia throughout my intellectual elaboration just so that the students aren't continuously reading. And the videos also, they are an extended type of knowledge that I provide to my students. And I also like to see or let them view how our concepts and theories are applied. And a lot of the videos that I share actually do that. So if you're looking for content, how can we find it? So here, what I'm going to do, just under this video, I'm going to go in and look for this video again. This one actually isn't a good one because I couldn't find it. Let's attempt to find it. I'm running out of time. Okay, conformity and groupthink. So I'm going to attempt to put that video in. So here we say more external tools. And what I'm going to do is click on Khan Academy. And I'm going to attempt to, no, excuse me, guys. This one is not a good one to do. I actually tried to go in and do that one before. We can actually try to go in and find this one, the scientific method. And I'm going to try to find a TED Talk on the scientific method. If I could spell scientific. And we have several different videos that come up. Of course, it's best to keep the video clips less than 15 minutes. And I believe there is some rule or regulation where we shouldn't be using any videos that are more than 15 minutes in our course. But we could grab any one of these for our course. Let's see. And one of your first few videos will actually be this one is a good one. I used this one in a previous course, so I'm going to click on this and just say embed, and it should put the video in there. And there it is. So it's included in our announcement. Just want to show you how you could actually go about grabbing media. I don't want to include it because I'm not going to go through putting all of the reference information in there. But that is an example of how you would do that. So remember, I went and actually grabbed the HTML information from a previous post and put it here. So I'm going to click on save. And because we are running short of time, what I'm going to do now is do an example of just posting a quote. And then I'm going to go into week 2 and post my discussion, a discussion. So if we were on the home page during your first week, a good idea would be for just the first 3 announcements that your student should see should actually be the instructor profile, the welcome message, and your guidance posts. And now I'm going to include the quotes. As I stated before, this is a demo course, therefore I have no students. But if this was a regular course, what I would have done was actually send these quotes as an email. But you could post them as both an email and post it as an announcement. And just so I don't overwhelm my students with information, what I usually do is I provide the quotes probably on Wednesday, which is in the middle of the week. That's another way of me engaging the student throughout the week, because the beginning of the week, we're actually we're posting for that week. We're posting the announcements. We're posting the guidance posts, and we're also probably engaging them in discussion, in the discussion forums. So that's why I usually like to provide the quotes as an email on Wednesday, because that's in the middle of the week. Usually at the end of the week, they're sending you an email regarding some questions that they may have about the course or one of the assignments. So let's go to week 2 discussion. At this point, if we were in week 2, what I would do is unpin discussion 1 and I would pin discussion 2. And then sometimes, especially when the course just starts or it's just beginning, a lot of students may be apprehensive about being the first one to actually post a response in the course room. So that's another reason why I actually like to go in and make a post or be the first to actually post. And that makes them feel a little bit more relaxed about putting in a post in the course or in a discussion forum. So we're going to use this one here, and I have the title there. I'm going to do HTML editor because remember I have all of that information right here. I don't really have to go in and do the rich text version. But if I did, I would actually look for the links first. And then I would just put them in after I put the rich text information in there. And here's my cleanup. And there are my videos. This style, let's see, that style is right down there. And you do have to remember to go through and just proof your post just to make sure things are not out of whack, because you want them to look nice. Let me see. I can't bring it back up. Let's see if I can. That may not allow me. And this is the other reason why I usually go through rich context and put the information in myself. Oh, did the video disappear? No, it didn't. Thank goodness. Woo. Okay, let's see if we can do that here. ABA style. Okay, perfect. Let me tell you, A-type personality. I'm not completely A-type, but there are just certain things that I just like to have in order. So here we go. And we're going to put that down. Yeah, so make sure you just go back and you proof all of your posts just to make sure that they look the way that you want them to. And usually when I do rich text, the rich content editor, I usually can put things in there the way that I want to see them viewed. But the cleanup isn't bad at all with HTML editor. So either way you prefer to do it is fine. Then I would post that reply, and then it's actually going to be the first discussion that'll be in the course. And the reason why I selected week 2, discussion 1, this would actually be an email to my students or an announcement. However, as you know, I am unable to email anyone. Therefore, I'm posting it. But by week 2, you usually know if there are additional resources that your students may be seeking. And if there are any known APA resources out there, of which we do have an excellent one in Ashford Writing Center, you could post those out there as an announcement to your students. And if you feel you need to, you could also include those resources in your feedback when you give feedback to your students about their written assignments. So we're going to head back to discussions, and this time I am going to include the movie of the week. Excuse me, we're going to head back to announcements. So this time I'm going to integrate the movies so that you can see how they look. And this is all rich text, but I could go and grab the HTML from a previous message if I wanted to. And what I have done throughout the different courses that I've taught, I have just heeding to Grammarly's suggestions. What I have done in the past is I've collected different movies that I believe that would be wonderful to use in my chorus. So I have a library of a few, and also I'm a movie fanatic. I absolutely love movies. Therefore, I technically already have several images that are in my library here. And throughout the time that you're actually putting together your intellectual elaborations or any extra resources for your students, you could always save the images in your own file. The wonderful thing about Canvas is that we could actually save them here. So you save them under your files, or you can look at the images directly. And the one that I want to put here is actually Escape Fire. So this is this one, and I would click it and it would go there. It would be in there. And the reason why I like to include an image of the actual movie is just in case if there is a student that is actually interested in viewing this movie to see how it is connected to our weekly discussions or theories, they can see a cover of it, and it makes it easier for them to then go and find the movie. So we have Escape Fire there, and we have Blue Jasmine here. And I have Blue Jasmine over here. I think that was one I was, here she is. And I don't actually need that image to be as large as it is, so I'm going to bring that in some so you can actually size them the way that you need to. And in a nutshell, this is integrating transmedia and storytelling in your courses. When you go through discussing each one of the movies that you have here, that in essence is storytelling. And that storytelling helps to apply the actual theory or concept that you're discussing during that week in the course. And before I go out of here, like I said before, you would add files by downloading them offline. If I wanted to upload a file to use in my course, I would do it this way by clicking on upload file. And of course, I would save it to my computer. And then I would then input it in Canvas. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And because I'm probably a little bit over on time, I wanted to keep this presentation between 45 minutes to an hour. I'm not going to post any more announcements or guidance. However, if you want more of a demonstration, I'd be more than happy to just provide a shorter video for you on how I actually integrate storytelling through transmedia and quotes in my choruses, and as well as videos, which are a part of transmedia. However, I just wanted to demonstrate quickly to you how you put the information in through rich text, or how you could put that information in via HTML. I hope that this was helpful to you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to share them on the TLC discussion forum page. I look forward to chatting with you in some of the TLC sessions.